Hello, good morning. I was thinking on the way, I was driving to school, driving the children to school, and I just kind of had this realization that we feel like, and I don't know where it's come from, but we feel like there is a specific way in which we need to communicate with the universe, to receive what we want, and maybe it's all this manifestation crap. That manifestation crap, that's for another day. But that's for another video. But we have this sense that we need to speak in, I don't know, specific terms, positive, high energy sort of terms. We need to ask for specific signs. And so it's like we need to change ourselves or change our vibration or whatever it is to be able to communicate with the universe, to be able to receive what it is that we need from the universe. And that's crap. It's absolute crap. What I receive from the universe, or the communication that I have with the universe, is never ending. Okay? I don't sit here and ask the universe for a sign. I don't ask the universe to show me that if I'm on the right path, that a yellow bird will streak across my, I don't know, my consciousness. I don't, because I'm constantly being shown, I'm constantly receiving information from the universe via, I don't know, via everything, because everything happens for a reason, to show me what path to be on. And because of that, I'm on the right path. I trust that I'm on the right path because it's guided by the universe, because it's guided, but it's because it's felt by my intuition as true, right, correct. It's funny because I had a session on the weekend, and we're talking with Chat GPT, about various things. And when Chatty, you could put a lot of thought, belief, effort into Chatty, and I guess merge off on a different path to the one that you're actually sort of meant to be on, really. Because of not trusting, not listening to your own feelings. Whenever I feel a bit, this is just not quite right, I sit in it. And then at some point, the answers come, just as they did last night with something that I'm working on. If you're unsure about what that is, or you'd like to know more, check out my daily, I can't remember which day it is because I don't know which day I'm up to. But check out my daily check-ins. Check out my check-ins. We don't have to talk to the universe in a specific way. We don't have to make sure that we use specific vocabulary, high vibrational vocabulary, to connect with the universe. We just don't. We just don't. What we do need to do is perceive and sense the things around us. Because the more that we sense and perceive the things around us, the more that those things make sense. As in, make sense in relation to our process. Make sense in relation to where we're at. Make sense in relation to what my next step is. Just help us make sense of this journey and where we are right now. And sure, sometimes that is the void. Sometimes you're sitting in the void and you're like, crutches, this is not fun. And I don't feel like I'm receiving a lot of communication, to and from. And then something happens and you're like, I'm in the void. I'm in the in-between place. I'm in the transition phase. I know and I trust that soon I will just receive exactly what it is that I need to receive. And the more that you keep your eye out, the more that you are looking, not necessarily for specifics, but just open, I guess. That is the actual word. The more that you are open, the more that those coincidences happen more and more and more and more, until you have something like on the weekend, my son plays hockey, which I've talked about previously. He plays hockey, and last week we did not have a goalie, and your team can't play if you don't have a goalie. And he wanted to be the goalie. He wanted to do it. And so he got kitted up in all of the stuff and was like, I want to do this. And I was like, that's good, but I'm going to organize for someone else to do it. And I know as a parent, that doesn't seem like a very good thing to do. Granted, just a little aside, he's exceptional on the field, as in he's really good at running and carrying the ball and things like that. So I think my thinking was, he's better on the field. We need him on the field. Anyway, so I organised for another goalie to come and play for us. It turns out on Saturday morning, my son had a migraine and couldn't play, or tried really hard to play, got on the field, couldn't do anything, and so came off. If I hadn't organised for a different goalie to be there, our team would have had to forfeit and we couldn't play. I obviously didn't know this, but I felt within myself that it was important to find someone else to be the goalie. And so that's what I did. And then looking back, so it was only this morning that I was looking back going, thank goodness I still went ahead and organised for someone else to goalie, because we would have been stuffed. So it's like, when you are feeling your feelings, when you're open and sensing the world around you, that is the to and fro. That is the to and fro conversation with the universe. That is the universe going, there's this thing over here. Have a look at this. This relates to your process. And you go, it does. I feel that it does. I'm having a conversation with Chatty, and Chatty says, hey, there's, what about this? And you're like, do you know what, Chatty? That just doesn't feel right in me. I don't know why, but something about it just doesn't feel right. And then you go to and fro with Chatty until something feels right. And when it feels right with Chatty, it's like, that was me last night, which I'll talk about in my daily check-in. This is the to and fro from the universe until you are at a radical understanding of who you are. An absolute ground level, grassroots level understanding of who you are. And when you can understand at that kind of deep level who you are, that's when you can change. It's like, what? But why would you change when you know who you are? Because that's the whole point of the next human experience. That's the whole point. I understand who I am at a radical level. I'm not happy with who I am at a radical level because I'm not meant to be. Because if I was happy, I wouldn't be trying to create exceptional, impossible change in myself. And that's what we're here to do. That's the whole point of the next stage in human experience. That's the whole point. Creating impossible, radical change. To do that, you need to be in constant communication with the universe. To do that, you need to be seeing, hearing, sensing with all your senses the world around you to receive that information, feeling that. And like that's your, when you feel it, when you feel the things that are going on around you as little, pings of aha moments, that's your, and bookmarking stuff, that feels important. As in, like, that's my way of bookmarking. I either go, it's interesting, because I'm shedding light on that little bit, that little topic, that little part of the conversation, and going, I see what you're saying, universe. I see what you're saying there. Yes. That's yes in sign language. Yes. It's not difficult. We don't need to change our language. We don't need to change anything except sensing our feelings, witnessing our feelings, and being open to the world around us. And bookmarking those interesting things that come up. Bookmark that shit. That is our conversation with the universe. We don't have to speak in different fantastical terms, positive. We don't.